Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled the Drasha in honor of Yaakov Strauss, Part 2. Baruch Hashem, we're zoche, privileged to celebrate the Strauss and Beck and extended family, Bar Mitzvah of Yaakov Strauss, Parshat Chayei Sarah. We mentioned in the first part of the Drasha that's been a very tough week, tough month for Klal Yisrael. The murder of Arifuld and the workers in the Zotasiya and the Shomron area, the horrible traffic accident took a whole family, the fire in Beitar, the massacre in Pittsburgh. It's a very hard time. And the fact is that there's a lot of reactions of people screaming, emotional reactions, often irrational reactions. The question is, address a question for Yaakov Strauss and for everyone. How do we deal with emotional reactions? Do we simply squash them and make sure to just be a cold litvak where we follow everything that the mind says and we dismiss all of our emotions and become a cold kind of Jew? So the answer is that for a person to be guided by her emotional reactions, that is not a healthy approach. Emotions could scream anything. Emotions could scream out. Every Jew has to have a 22 caliber pistol. Every shul in America has to have a metal detector. Every Jew should just make aliyah now. And in terms of the Arab-Israeli conflict, have to just kill all of the Arabs, have to go get rid of all the Arabs, expel all the... So emotions could go crazy. Emotions do not dictate reality. They are hit or miss. Sometimes they'll hit on something good, accurate, and sometimes totally off. How many marriages go sour because they should never have taken place in the first place, because they were based on certain emotional love and attraction and connection, which is not based on any thinking at all. So the emotions cannot indicate reality. They're hit or miss. We need to go ahead and look into each sugya, each topic with chachma, with bina, with doubt, with wisdom. What then is the role of the emotions? Once we assess a system, a situation in a proper way, and we're not misguided, we have clarity, moral clarity, and then we see, wow, what a tragedy. Then naturally the emotions have to be there. And what a simcha, we see there's a simcha, then of course the emotions have to be there. But sometimes it can get a little bit confusing. Go ahead. Risham are killed, but Oved Risham, so it might feel so bad that a Rasha is killed. Emotionally, a person might feel down that the terrorist was shot, killed. You never know. People are like that. And the pasuk says, Oved Risham Rina. No, there's joy. There's some limited joy based on the Medrash that the Malachim didn't say Shira. There's what to look into there. But the pasuk says, Oved Risham Rina. So the fact is, for every situation is a proper intellectual and emotional reaction. We have to just make sure the emotions don't dictate the ultimate reaction, because that may or may not be true. But once we deem that this is a situation which is a situation of simcha, and of course a person should feel simcha. If a person doesn't feel simcha at someone else's happiness, there's something lacking. You're cold, you're missing something. And if you don't feel pain in another person's pain, another person's loss, there's something lacking. So to some, the idea is that hopefully with proper chachma, with bina and dat, we can assess the situation and see what is the proper response, at least give an attempt for what a proper response is. And we can assess whether this should be a situation of happiness, situation of sadness. Sometimes it's obvious, but sometimes it's not. And then, of course, once we have clarity on how to assess the situation, the emotion should naturally flow along. Sometimes it's so obvious a person doesn't need to go through the thinking process. A tragedy in Pittsburgh, a tragedy on Route 90, it's obvious you should be mourning. And a great victory for the Jewish people. We go ahead and have the consulate move to Yerushalayim, things like that. You don't need to necessarily think it's a happy occasion. But when it's a little confusing, then we have to be very careful. We have to make sure we have a right balance. And really, if you think of it, maybe the machloket a few hundred years ago, Hasidim, the Misnagdim, everything has to be thought through. Hasidim was so emotional, and maybe there was some fear that too emotional and davening at all these different times and dancing and not learning, and the emotions are there, but in too strong a manner, and in a manner which is not guided by Torah and Chachma and Bina Dat. So Baruch Hashem, as the decades have gone on, the centuries have gone on, I think there's a pretty good balance where we have the Hasidim and the Yeshiva, the Misnagdisha world together, where Misnagdisha are keeping a balance with Chachma Bina Dat, but the Hasidim have added a certain emotional element, and that synthesis is beautiful. The bracha to Yaakov Strauss is he should be able to have that amazing synthesis, be guided by Chachma Bina Dat, by wisdom, as dictated by the Masorah, but be a full and complete Jew with all the emotional experiences. Sad and avelut when another Jew, another human being is in trouble, and happiness and simcha at the right moments as well. Yetz Hashem, we look for great growth and leadership from our budding Talmid Chacham, Yaakov Strauss. Mazal Tov.